Okay, today we're talking about performing maintenance on a 12-volt flooded lead-acid battery. So here's what I'm using today: distilled water. You do not want to use regular tap water because of the mineral content in tap water. Always use distilled water. And wear safety glasses and gloves. And you want to pour it in with a smaller container like this measuring cup that you see here. So here's a 12-volt flooded lead-acid battery, pretty common in the automotive industry. This one here is a maintenance-free battery. You can see the difference. Maintenance-free battery does not have the vent caps on top. There's no caps to be able to fill up or top off the water level inside the battery. And it actually says maintenance-free on the battery. Whereas a conventional or standard lead-acid battery doesn't say maintenance-free on it. So I'm going to fill up some distilled water in this glass measuring cup. So that way I can slowly pour in a small amount of distilled water a little bit at a time. So I'm going to start with one cell and work my way across. Before you do that, you want to brush off or wipe off any dust or dirt or corrosion on top of your batteries. It's a good practice to always keep the top of your batteries clean and dry. If you see corrosion anywhere, you want to clean off that corrosion. So I'm just simply going to unscrew this first cell slowly. Again, wear safety glasses, keep your face away from the battery. And that's a little breather vent cap. So you can see it can allow the gases inside the battery to escape when needed. That's what that looks like. Another reason why you want to keep the top of your battery clean is you don't want dust or debris falling down inside your battery acid. And there's lead plates down there that you can see that are stacked side by side. You want to keep those submerged in your distilled water and battery acid mixture. You only add distilled water. You never add more battery acid to the battery. But it should be right to the bottom of this black tab right here. So I'd say roughly about an inch below the top of the battery is where I want to fill up my distilled water level to. I'm going to try to do this one-handed while holding the camera. And you don't want to overfill your battery. So let's take a look, pour a little bit in. It's almost there to the bottom of that black tab. So again, pour a little at a time so you don't overfill it. Because when a battery gets hot and that battery acid starts bubbling, it can actually bubble battery acid out of that vent cap, and battery acid is highly corrosive. You don't want that dripping down onto your metal components, your wiring, your rubber tubing, painted surfaces, etc. So do not overfill your battery. Again, there's a little vent cap. So you screw that back in. And you can refer to your owner's manual as far as how often you need to check your batteries, or if the level needs to be checked. Or at least every few months, whether you have a vehicle, a golf cart battery, a JLG lift, or any other type of equipment. So I'll move on to the next cell, and the next cell, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm only filling up the water level to the bottom of that black tab that I showed you earlier down inside the cell. And what happens if you don't have enough water level in your battery, it can reduce the lifespan of your battery, won't last as long, won't hold a charge as long, etc. And it can potentially overheat. So that distilled water level is really important. Now that the cells are all filled at the proper level, I'm going to take some dielectric grease and put a thin layer of dielectric grease on these terminals and the posts, on both the negative and the positive posts and terminals here. You can see there's no corrosion, they're nice and tight. But if you had corrosion, you want to clean the corrosion off first before applying dielectric grease or petroleum jelly. And again, make sure your terminals are tight. If they're a little bit loose, that can cause a problem for your battery not to charge fully, cause electrical issues. Do not put the dielectric grease between the post and the cable terminal themselves. Lastly, make sure your hold down strap is secure. You don't want the battery wobbling around. Make sure all your cable connections are secure and tight, and keep the top of that battery cleaned off. When you have to replace your battery, make sure you get the proper rated battery with the correct cold cranking amps. I hope this video helps you. Now I'd like to tell you about a practical facilities maintenance handbook, available now in ebook and paperback format. It has common facilities documents, tags, signage, resource and training material, as well as common shop equipment drawings that you can use to fabricate shop equipment for your facility. This is a great training aid and resource guide. The link for this book is in the video description below. Please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment, and thanks for watching.